Let me begin by saying good morning to the esteemed President Wilson, members of the Board of Regents, members of your faculty, our Honorable Attorney General Eric Holder, and our other distinguished guests, especially our class of 1964. And most of all, to the class of 2014, good morning and good fortune. Let me start by saying how humbling this is for a number of reasons. One, the opportunity to follow behind Kwasi Mfume and be squeezed in between Attorney General Eric Holder. If for no other reason, I will never forget this. So, I'm going to spend a few minutes with you this morning, but I did want to share with you a couple of things. First, it's important to note that I was not born in the great state of Maryland or in this great city of Baltimore, Dr. Wilson, but I can tell you how happy I am to have come here with my family from our home in Illinois. I am deeply appreciative of the history and achievement of your, and as I understand later this morning, now our prestigious university, and deeply impressed with the capabilities and promise it represents. With the honor that you and your faculty are bestowing upon me, I can say with tremendous pride that together with the members of the graduating class of 2014, I too am proud to be a Morgan Bear. Today, I join the ranks of 32 other BGE employees who have a degree from Morgan State, and another 5 engineer graduates that will join the BGE team this summer, along with 5 interns starting in June. We have one employee, Aaron Harris, who thought it was so good he received 3 degrees from Morgan State, and another, Danielle Smith, who just kept going and got 2. We recognize at BGE quality, and we value and appreciate our relationship with Morgan State University. To all of you, the class of 2014, congratulations on your graduation, and thank you for allowing me to be here as you prepare to enter the next phase of your life. I am truly and deeply humbled. I can only imagine how proud your parents, teachers, and community are of you, your accomplishments thus far. The key words there are thus far. We all believe that you are just getting started because we believe in the power of you. The power of you is the foundation of what I want to discuss with you this morning. I do need to share a short story first about how I began preparing for this commencement address. I did a couple of things. I reviewed other commencement speeches, and I spoke to my 2 teenagers, ages 15 and 19, for their perspective of what I should talk about. My 15-year-old daughter gave me this advice: Dad, keep it short. That was not an applause line. Be profound and avoid cliches like you are the future, if you believe you can achieve, or shoot for the stars and if you fall short, you'll hit the moon. I immediately told her that I can handle keeping it short, but reminded her that cliches are cliches for a reason. They do ring true. However, I immediately began rewriting my speech. Dr. Wilson spoke about me achieving much, rising to become CEO of BGE, the oldest gas utility in the country and one of the oldest electric companies at such a young age. And I thank you for that. But I also recognize that youth is in the eye of the beholder. As I meet with the new employees at BGE, those eager 22-year-olds like you right out of college, the first words they say to me are, "Nice to meet you, Mr. Butler, and how long before I can become a vice president?" I smile and remind them it's a journey of hard work and many decision points along the way. It is your ability to build what you have learned here at Morgan State, that you are more than what the media reports, more than just a bunch of statistics, more than just an acceptor of status quo. As the gospel singer Hezekiah Walker sang, you are more than a conqueror. I am here to tell you that as the CEO of Baltimore Gas and Electric Company, I believe in the power of you. You are high achievers. You are graduates whose end game is determined by your dreams, whose dreams are limited by your expectations, and whose expectations are only bound by your perceived self-worth. You are worthy despite the setbacks that will come your way. You are worthy regardless of this job market. You are worthy despite what that denial letter from your graduate school of choice said. Why do I know this? Because I know you. Because I am you. Like many of you, I'm the first in my entire family, not just my immediate family, to graduate from college. How dare I dream of going to law school? But why not? What I decided to do is consciously travel the road less traveled. I did not take the shortcuts. I took calculated risks, sought out mentors, asked questions, pushed myself above the limits of what I saw around me, but above all, remained humbled throughout the process. As I said, I am you. As a senior at my alma mater, I was student body president on top of the world. I had previously interned 2 years with Procter & Gamble in St. Louis, had a full-time offer in St. Louis for a sales position, nice starting salary, company car, and expense account, again, on top of the world. However, I always thought about going to law school. I took my LSAT in October, results would arrive right about mid-January, and P&G wanted an answer to a job offer made at the end of the summer by October. I was able to defer the decision until January 12th, hoping I would get those LSAT scores back to determine if I could get into law school. On January 12th, I remember rushing to my apartment mailbox and no LSAT scores. I had committed to calling Procter & Gamble back with the answer on that job offer. I called, I stepped out on faith and declined the offer. 3 days later, the LSAT scores came and they were average, to say the best. But I thought with my extracurricular activities, GPA, and law schools needing some diversity, I was good. Long story short, applications went out, denial and waitlist letters poured in. Fast forward to April of my senior year. I was walking the quad of my beloved university, perceived big man on campus with no job and no law school acceptances. I remember sitting on a bench in the quad and having a moment, my own pity party. I said a prayer, stood up and shook it off. Midsummer, still no acceptances. I was interning in Peoria at the time and decided to go visit Washington University in St. Louis, who had waitlisted me. Remember, St. Louis is my hometown, so I was home for the 4th of July weekend and visited them on Friday, July 5th. By Monday, July 8th, I had received a fax at my office. They still were faxing back then, with an acceptance from Washington University, with a financial package that included a significant scholarship. What I learned is that my instincts are strong if I listen, that action generates results, and I believed in the possibility and power of me. In short, I have guided my entire career with a strong belief in me and always asking, what's next? Throughout my career and now as CEO of BGE, I realized that every experience has prepared me for where I am now. Let me be very clear. To achieve sustainable success, you will experience some frustration, and you may ask yourself if it is worth it. The answer is yes. As I mentioned, I do also have a 19-year-old son, so I understand your generation somewhat. I will share with you what I share with him. The road to success is not a sprint. It's a process of discovery and of experiencing successes and failures. As hard as I worked to get into law school, I have never worked at a law firm since graduation. Let me share the reason why. As a law student at Washington University, I had the opportunity to clerk at a silk stocking law firm in downtown St. Louis for 2 years in their litigation and corporate law departments, respectively. The summer experiences were great, making good money, learning a lot, and adding value. One morning, I was driving to work around 6:30 in downtown St. Louis. I'm at a stoplight traveling south, and a 7-year associate from the corporate department was leaving the parking deck, walking north to the office. Now, for those of you who don't know, as a 7-year associate, he's at the precipice of his legal career. He's ready to make partner, or not. But what I observed is that he looked miserable. I decided at that very moment that I needed to explore other options. I did not want that to be me. By the end of the second summer, I was sure that the firm was going to make me a full-time offer. Again, making good money in my hometown. I reached out to the company that I'd interned with after college graduation and pre-law school and asked if I could work in their legal department as an intern after my second summer at the law firm. They called me back and commented that they needed at least 8 weeks to make it worth their time. My commitment to the law firm was for 10 weeks. I did both and started my third year of law school a week late. As expected, I did receive that substantial offer from the firm. Once again, I deferred acceptance until I found out if the company in Peoria would make me a rare offer to go straight from law school to an in-house counsel position. They did make an offer for $25,000 less than the law firm. I accepted. I remember the CEO of the company sitting me in his office. He looked at me and said, "You know this is rare, right?" I said, "I do." "You know if this doesn't work?" And he stopped and we both laughed. And I said, "I do." Again, I believed in the power of me and what I brought to the table. Fast forward. For 2 years, I managed their compliance programs and did some securities law work. I later became their chief lobbyist, handling state and federal lobbying, and then moved to coordinate their strategy activity. As Dr. Wilson talked about, I was recruited away by a multinational manufacturing company in Chicago, where I worked for 9 years, the first couple of years as their lobbyist, and I was then asked if I was interested in learning manufacturing. Of course I said yes. I became a certified auditor and a Six Sigma Green Belt, and went on to run 2 separate manufacturing plants. The second plant became the most profitable in that company's platform. I ended my career there as Senior VP of External Affairs. I was then recruited by my current employer, Exelon, to come work for our sister utility, ComEd, where Dr. Wilson talked about. I led the external efforts and many other administrative functions. My parent then asked me to lead the human resources at Exelon, which I had never done before, but I thought, why not? Another tool in my tool belt. In less than a year on the job, they asked me to lead the merger, Exelon, Constellation, and BGE. But what Dr. Wilson didn't tell you is that both companies, Exelon and Constellation, had failed twice to merge before. And of course I said yes. 3.5 years later, I stand before you as the first African-American CEO of the oldest gas electric utility in the country. And only African-American CEO of an investor-owned utility in the United States. I share all of this because I realize that if I can do it, so can you. Think about this great institution you are graduating from today, Morgan State University, founded in 1867, arising out of the drive of churchmen and women to establish an institution that could train young black men, many recently freed from slavery, for the ministry. But in a larger sense, Morgan, one of the many institutions founded across the former slaveholding South, came into being to bring the light of education to a community and class of people from whom that light was so long denied. So it is not surprising that by 1890, the Centennial Biblical Institute had been renamed Morgan College with a broader mandate, and that this new college had attracted the attention of steel magnate Andrew Carnegie, who gave the school $50,000 to purchase land for a new campus, here where we stand today, to pay off outstanding debts and construct a new academic building named after Mr. Carnegie. And I've learned, President Wilson, that that building still stands on this campus as a treasured historical site. Today, Mr. Carnegie and I dare say the Reverend Littleton Morgan, the founding board's first chairman, would be astonished to look around here and see what the college they established and nourished has grown to be. A national leader in producing scientists, computer professionals and engineers, architects and landscape developers, business professionals and community leaders, journalists and filmmakers, the single best producer of graduates who have become generals in the US military, and last but not least, teachers for the next generation of young high achievers, community builders, and leaders. With such a rich history and strong foundation, how can you not, graduates, as a proud graduate of Morgan State, not believe in the power of you. Enjoy this moment. Remember this occasion, but always know that the world owes you nothing. You and only you create your next opportunity. I'm not saying that we do not need help, just the opposite. Most of you, including myself, would not be here today without the assistance, love, and support of family, friends, teachers, or a combination of all of the above. What I'm saying is choose your path, set out on your journey, embrace the highs and the lows, because remember, the lows create the character. But most importantly, continue moving. It is the motion of movement that allows you to reach your destination. You need to understand that standing in place and waiting for something to happen accomplishes nothing. Remember the work ethic that got you here today. Bottle that feeling of accomplishment and promise yourself it is just the beginning. I share with you the words of Apple founder Steve Jobs, who left us at the young age of 56. Mr. Jobs said, "Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition." I am truly humbled to be a part of celebrating your journey, your greatness, and your new beginning. Please know that we believe in the power of you. Congratulations to the class of 2014, and remember, always aim for the stars, and if you fall short, you'll still reach the moon. Thank you, and God bless.